Welcome to all. Myself Archana Sharma from Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pharmacy Institute, Greater Noida. Today we are discussing about the lecture on soft gelatin capsule and its quality control test. Okay, so for about the soft gelatin capsules we have already discussed in my previous lecture. Okay, what is soft gelatin capsules, how we are going to manufacture the soft gelatin capsule with different methods, and what are the formulation requirement which we need to understand during the formulation of the soft gelatin capsule. Here we are discussing some basic points, okay, some basic concepts such as base absorption, minim per gram factor, and what are its quality control test and the packaging and storage stability of the soft gelatin capsules. So, base absorption. What is base absorption? Base absorption is especially important in the case when we are incorporating the solid or solid in the form of either suspension or semi solids into the soft gelatin capsule. Here there we need to understand how you are going to manufacture or how you are going to encapsulate the solid into the form of liquid mixture, okay, into the form of liquid mixture, and how much amount of liquid mixture you have to add it that your solid is going to modify into a capsulable mixture. Clear? For that we need to understand the concept of base adsorption. So, base absorption is expressed as the number of grams of liquid base. What is that? Base adsorption is expressed as the number of liquid base required to produce a capsulable mixture when mixed with 1 gram of solid. So, what is basically, it is how much quantity of the liquid base you required during the manufacturing of a capsulable mixture, so that you can properly wet the 1 gram of solid. The base absorption of solid is influenced by following factors. What are those factors? First, the particle size and shape of the solid. So, the particle size and shape of the solid, it should be uniform. Okay, its physical state, in which state it is in the form of amorphous state or a crystalline state, its density, its moisture content, okay, the amount of moisture present in it, and its oleophilic or hydrophilic nature, whether the nature of your solid is lipophilic or it is a water soluble. In the determination of base absorption, the solid must be completely wetted by the liquid base. So, whatever the solid we are going to incorporate into the soft gelatin capsule, that needs to be wetted by the liquid base. For determining how much quantity of the liquid base is needed for wetting that much amount of that 1 gram of solid, we perform a experiment. Okay, a practical procedure for determining the base absorption is that we weigh a definite amount of solid, that is around 40 gram, and we put it into the 150 ml tiered beaker. So, what we do, we take 150 ml beaker, okay, and in that we put a 40 gram of solid, okay. Then what we do, we take another 150 ml of beaker, okay. Then in a separate 150 ml tiered beaker, place about 100 gram of liquid base. So, what we do in another 150 ml tiered beaker, we place around 100 gram of liquid base, okay. Now, what we have to do? Now, we slowly incorporate this liquid base into the 150 ml tiered beaker, which is containing 40 gram of your solid, and with the help of spatula we are going to mix that solid with the liquid, okay. So, add a small increment of the liquid base into the solid, and using a spatula stir the base into the solid after each addition until the liquid is thoroughly wetted and uniformly coated with the base. So, what we do? We take a we take a 150 ml of 150 ml beaker. In one beaker we keep a 40 gram of solid and we take another 150 ml beaker and in that we keep a 100 gram of liquid base. Then slowly with the help of the spatula we are going to mix the liquid mixture into the solid. Okay. This produce a mixture that has a soft ointment like consistency. Okay. So, we are keep on adding the liquid mixture into the solid until the consistency of the solid changes into a soft ointment like. Okay. At that point we again keep on adding the liquid and stir and mix the mixture. Continue to add liquid and stir until the mixture flows steadily from the spatula blade and when held at 45-degree angle above the mixture. So, what will happen once the your solid liquid mixture form like a ointment consistency, at that point we again keep on adding the liquid mixture until it get converted into the form of a flowable mixture. So, that when you suppose this is your beaker which is containing a liquid, base and solid. Okay. So, the consistency should be like that with the help of a spatula if you are going to take out the mixture should be flow into the it should be a regular flow of liquid. Okay. So, continue to add liquid and stir the mixture flow steadily from the spatula when held at 45-degree angle. So, when you keep the spatula at 45-degree angle, the flow should be steady and regular. Okay. One thing we have to here be cautious that the flow should not be in the form of globulous. Okay. ऐसा नहीं कि you keep the spatula and the flow is flow of liquid like in this form of globes form. No, it is not. It should be in the form of a regular steady flow. Okay. The flow is even and continuous and it should not be in the form of globes. The base absorption is obtained by means of the following formula. What was the formula? Base absorption is equal to weight of the liquid base. Okay. How much quantity of liquid base you have taken for wetting the solid and divided by weight of the solid and how much weight you have weight of the solid you have taken in the initial. Okay. Then another point is Minim per gram factor. Minim per gram factor is correlated with your base absorption. The base absorption is used to determine the Minim per gram factor, that is m by g of the solid. So, what is that? The Minim per gram factor is the volume in minims, that is occupied by 1 gram of the solid, okay, plus the weight of the liquid base required to make a capsulable mixture. So, what is Minim gram factor? That it is defined as the minimum volume, the minimum quantity, okay, of the liquid base is required to wet the 1 gram of the solid. Okay. So, the Minim per gram factor, it is calculated by dividing the weight of the base plus gram of the solid base. Okay. So, if we are going to denote the weight of the base is BA and S is for solid. Okay. Then by the weight of the mixture, that is W per cubic centimeter, or it is taken as the factor 16.23 minims, that is V. Okay. So, convenient formula for determining the Minim per gram factor is B by A S, BA plus S into V upon W is equal to m by G. So, by using this formula we determine the minimum volume which is minimum volume of the liquid which is required for making a capsulable mixture of 1 gram of solid. Okay. Then thus the lower the base absorption of the solid, the higher the density of the mixture and the smaller will be the capsule. Okay. So, from directly base absorption we determine the the size of the capsule. If the base value of the base absorption will be lower, then the density of the mixture will be higher, and similarly the smaller the capsule will be. Okay. The importance of this minimum per factor is particularly it is very useful when we are making or encapsulating vitamins into the soft gelatin capsules. The convenience of using minim per gram factor is particularly evident in the vitamins where there may be many ingredients used. So, it is basically useful in the manufacturing of the vitamins. Then come to the quality control test of the soft gelatin capsule. So, quality control test, all other tests are similar with that of the hard gelatin capsule. There is a little bit difference in the weight variation and test. So, we will go through it very quickly. Weight variation. The weight variation, why we perform this test? To assure that whatever the capsule, okay, whatever the quantity of the capsule produced in a particular lot or a batch, that are all having the same weight. To assure this, we perform a weight variation test. The gross weight, for what we do in this, the gross weight of 10 intact capsule is determined individually, then each capsule is cut open and the content are removed by washing with a suitable solvent. So, what we do, we take a 10 capsules, okay, and then we weigh them individually, and after that we cut the individual tablet and we wash it with a suitable solvent, okay, as prescribed in your individual monograph. The solvent is allowed to evaporate at room temperature over about 30 minutes with precautions to avoid uptake or loss of moisture. The individual cells after that are weighed and the net content is calculated. Okay. Then what we do? We allow the solvent to evaporate at room temperature for around 30 minutes. Then after that, what we do? We take the individual cell and we weigh, and the net content we calculate. From the result of the assay directed in the individual monograph, the content of the active ingredient in each of the capsule is determined. So, as per the assay procedure prescribed in an individual monographs, we determine the content of the active ingredient in each of the capsule. Okay. The next is your content uniformity test. So, capsule must comply with the requirement for uniformity of the content specified in the individual monograph. And as I said, the test is very much similar to that of the hard gelatin capsule. In this, we randomly select 30 capsules, okay, and out of 30 capsules, 10 of which are assayed by the specified procedure as specified in your individual monograph. The requirement are met if 9 of the 10 are within the specified potency range of 85 to 115, and the 10th is not, it should not outside the range of 75 to 125. If this condition does not met, okay, if more than 1 but less than 3 of the first 10 capsules which we have taken fall outside the range of 85 to 115 limits, then we take another 20 capsule and we perform the assay. Okay. Now, what we have? Now, we have total 30 capsules. The requirement of are met if all 30 capsules are within 75 to 125% of the specified potency range, and not less than 27 of the 30 are within the 85 to 115% range. Next is disintegration test. The disintegration of a capsule means to break the capsule into the smaller particles after swallowing. The time required to disintegrate the capsule is called disintegration time. So, initially when you are going to take the capsule, when it starts breaking down into its smaller fragment, then that time is called as disintegration time. So, what we do? We take in this we take a basket type of assembly and we place one capsule in each of the 6 test tubes of basket assembly, and we suspend that basket assembly into a GIT fluid, and we maintain the temperature at 37 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade, and we observe the time of disintegration. Okay. For soft gelatin capsules, it takes 60 minutes. The capsule passes if the test passes the test if no residue is left on the screen of the apparatus, or if residue remains in the form of fragments of the shell. If 1 or 2 capsule fails to disintegrate we repeat the test on another 12 additional capsule, so as not less than 16 of the total number of 18 capsule tested get disintegrated. Now, dissolution test. The test is done for measuring the amount of time required to release the drug from the capsule into the body, okay, under the specified condition. Clear? And this test is also similar to that of the hard gelatin capsule. In this we take basket type of assembly and we place one capsule in 1000 ml of simulated gastrointestinal fluid, which is maintained at a temperature of 37 plus minus 2 degrees centigrade, and it is rotated at a speed of 1000 rpm. As specified in a monograph requirement, we withdraw the sample at a different time intervals. Then we filter and we determine the active amount of the active ingredient released with respect to the time. Okay. Then if the sample passes the test, if the amount of active ingredient in the solution is not less than 70% as stated amount in the monograph. Okay. So, the content or the release amount of the drug should not be less than 70%. Then moisture permeation test. Okay. Since capsules are made up of gelatin and gelatins are very much prone to the fluctuation in the humidity condition. So, it is very necessary to perform the moisture permeation test. The USP requires determination of moisture permeation characteristics of single unit and unit dose container, both the capsule and the containers, to ensure their suitability for packaging capsule. For this, what we do? The degree and the rate of moisture penetration are determined by packing the doses unit together with a color revealing desiccant. Okay. So, what we do? We take a we take a capsule and we packed along with a color relieving desiccant and palette. Okay. Then we expose that particular packed unit to a different relative humidity condition for a specified period of time. Okay. And we observe the change in the color of the desiccant of the palette, and we also compare the pre-test and the post-test weight of the packed unit. Then packaging and storage of soft gelatin capsule. So, as discussed in the previous during the storage of the hard gelatin capsule also, that optimum humidity conditions and temperature conditions are required for storing the capsules, because if we keep into the highly humid condition, what will happen? The gelatin will absorb the moisture and it will lose its shape. Okay, it lose its rigidity, it become flexible, and if it keep it in a very dry atmosphere, what will happen? Okay, the gelatin will lose its moisture and it becomes brittle. So, capsule should be packed, stored in well closed glass or plastic container and stored in a cool place at a temperature not exceeding 30 degree centigrade. These type of containers have advantage over cardboard boxes, that they are more convenient to handle, transport and protect the capsule from moisture or dust. Okay. So, basically for storing the capsule, we prefer glass or plastic container over the cardboard boxes. Okay, for the better handling and the transport purposes, and we maintain that the temperature should not go beyond the 30 degree centigrade. To prevent the capsule from rattling, a tuft of cotton is placed over and under the capsule, and a packet containing desiccant like silica gel or anhydrous calcium chloride may be placed to prevent the absorption of excessive moisture by the capsule. So, to prevent the rattling of the capsule, what we do? We along with the capsule, we place a tuft of cotton, so that the two capsules should not get rattle each other. Okay. And we along with that, we place a packet of desiccant, either which is containing either silica gel or your anhydrous calcium chloride, so that to prevent the excessive moisture intake. Nowadays generally capsules are packed in a strip packings, okay, to provide better protection, counting and identification. Nowadays capsules are strip packed, which provide sanitary handling of medicines, ease in counting and identification. capsules can be individually protected by enclosing them in a strip pack or the blister pack. So, we can pack the capsule either in the strip packing or in the blister packing. So, in strip packing the capsules are hermetically sealed within the strip of an aluminum foil, and when we remove the, how we are going to remove the content? Okay, we remove the content by tearing or cutting that particular strip. The content are removed by tearing or cutting to separate the capsule. In case of blister packs, we give a thumb press. Okay, we give a press on the blister force. Blister forces the capsule through the capsule to come out through the baking strip. Next, come to the stability of the soft gelatin capsule. So, here we are from the starting we have discussing that gelatin is very sensitive to the moisture condition. So, definitely the variation in the temperature and humidity condition affect the stability of the capsule. So, unprotected soft gelatin capsules rapidly reach equilibrium with the atmospheric condition under which they are stored. Okay. So, unprotected soft gelatin capsule, they very easily develop equilibrium stage with the atmospheric condition. General statement relative to the effect of temperature and humidity on soft gelatin capsules must be confined to a control capsule that contains mineral oil with a gelatin shell having a dry glycerin to dry gelatin ratio of 0.5 to 1 and water to dry gelatin ratio of 1 to 1, and that is dried to a equilibrium with 20 to 30% relative humidity and 21 to 24 degree centigrade. The physical stability of soft gelatin capsule is associated primarily with the pickup or loss of water by the capsule shell. So, generally the physical stability of the soft gelatin capsule shell is associated with the pickup and loss of the moisture by the capsule shell. If these are prevented by proper packaging, the above control capsule should have a satisfactory physical stability at a temperature ranging from just above the freezing temperature and to the high temperature, that is 60 degree centigrade. For the unprotected control capsule, low humidities less than 20% RH, low temperature less than 2 degree centigrade and high temperature greater than 38 degree centigrade or combination of these conditions have only transient effect. So, unprotected low humidity conditions, low temperature conditions or a temperature greater than 38 degrees centigrade, they have the transient effects on the capsule. But if we go increase the humidity, okay, as the humidity is increased with a reasonable temperature range, okay, increases with the certain specified temperature, the shell of the unprotected control capsule should pick up moisture in proportion to its glycerin and gelatin content as per the curve. So, this is your curve here, this is the percent relative humidity and here the percent dry components, and this is the curve of the equilibrium content by weight of the dry glycerin, okay, and dry gelatin at various relative humidity condition. So, this line is your glycerin and this is your gelatin line. So, see from the graph we understand as we increases the or if we changes the humidity condition, there is a change in the variation in the concentration of the glycerin as well as the gelatin. So, as the humidity is increased with a reasonable temperature range, the shell of the unprotected control capsule should also pick up moisture in proportion to its concentration of glycerin and gelatin content. Okay. Then the total moisture content of the capsule shell at equilibrium with any given relative humidity within a reasonable temperature range should closely approximately the sum of the moisture content of the glycerin and gelatin when held separately at the stated condition. High humidities more than 60% RH at 21 to 24 degree centigrade produce more lasting effect on the capsule shell, since moisture is absorbed within the capsule, making it soft, tackier and blotted. An increase in temperature beyond 24 degree centigrade together with humidity more than 45 degrees centigrade, it causes the capsule to get melt and fuse together. Okay. So, thereby the capsule manufacturer need to perform or need to regularly conduct a accelerated stability test on the new product. Okay. So, what are the successful result obtained by conducting test condition like they keep at 80% relative humidity at room temperature in open container, 40 degrees centigrade in open container, 40 degrees centigrade in closed container glass bottle with a tight screw. Then capsules are observed periodically for 2 weeks and both gross and subtotal effects of the storage condition on the capsule set are noted and recorded. The control capsule should not be affected except at 80% relative humidity station. So, these data can be taken for the designing the stability condition of the capsules. Next is application of soft gelatin capsule. Now, we can give the entry coated capsules, we can use the sustained release, we can formulate the sustained release capsule by giving a proper using the proper polymers for making the sustained release capsule. We can control the release rate of the capsules or the drug. Then rectal, for the rectal capsules we use, and capsule containing ophthalmic ointments. Okay. So, for ophthalmic preparations we can also use a soft gelatin capsules. These are the reference. Thank you.